Am I wrong for not wanting my sister-in-law in our lives, even though I almost caused her to lose her baby? Before we go on, make sure to subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments which city you're watching from. If you're here to judge me, do it. Seriously, but first listen to me, because I'm not a bad person. I'm just a person who was displaced, who broke inside while everyone cheered. My name's Valeria. My brother's name's Lucas. We grew up being twins. And I don't say it as a figure of speech. We're literally twins. We were inseparable. We had our secret codes, our weird habits. We even shared playlists, and no, we weren't codependent. We were a team. I thought that'd last forever until she arrived, Julieta, the perfect girlfriend. Catalog smile, Pinterest quotes, sweet and manipulative voice. A woman who from minute one did everything possible to erase my existence. Lucas met her at a New Year's party. At 3 months, she was already living with him. At 6, they were planning a wedding, and at 8, they were already pregnant. And I, his sister, his twin, found out everything after his work friends. Not a message, not a call. The pregnancy news was given to me by Julieta's mom at a family dinner where everyone pretended I knew. That was the first thing. The first dagger disguised as an oops. Then came the little gestures. Julieta blocked me from the wedding WhatsApp group. She invented that I'd criticized her body during a video call that never existed. She said I made her nervous, that it altered her pregnancy, that I gave her dirty looks. And, of course, like a good actress, she'd cry every time Lucas doubted. I didn't try everything. I talked to him. I told him I felt displaced, that I needed to be there. That we were family, and he told me, it isn't personal, Vale, I just want peace. Peace. That was peace for him, that his sister became a ghost for his new family. And then something happened that still burns me inside. Julieta bought a baby dress with the phrase, only one queen in this house. And at a gathering where we were all present, she showed it to my grandma. My grandma laughed uncomfortably and Julieta said, it's a joke. But there are too many women trying to mark territory, right? Everyone laughed. Except me, because right there I understood I wasn't welcome. Not in their house, not in my brother's life, not in the world Julieta was building from scratch, erasing everything from before. And the worst part's that Lucas didn't say anything, nothing. I'm not a saint, but I'm not a threat either. And that day I swore one thing to myself, if they were going to take me out of the picture, I was going to break the frame. So yes, if you came looking for a villain in this story, maybe I'm useful to you. But I was also the victim of a perfect play. And if you want to know what I did next, you're going to have to stay. Because this wasn't an accident, it was a response. And if Julieta wanted a silent war, she found it in me. That's what Julieta never stood, that Lucas looked at me with affection, with memories, with history, with something she couldn't buy or invent. After the dress episode and the stupid joke at the gathering, the tension was like a constant alarm in my head. Every time Lucas talked about the wedding, my name didn't appear. Every time there was a decision to make, Julieta said, I prefer we solve it as a couple. As a couple. If it were up to her, I wouldn't even have been born. But then something curious happened. They invited me to the dress fitting. According to Lucas, it was Julieta's idea as a way to make peace. I doubted a lot, but I also thought, maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe I can still fix this. So I went. The store was a monument to excess, velvets, soft lights, background music, and women with super expensive purses giving opinions on laces they couldn't even pronounce. Julieta already had her mom and a friend in the background. I arrived and greeted them cordially. Professional smile. Nothing hostile. She ignored me, but one of her friends told her, she's the one that, and Julieta just nodded with a half smile, as if I were a footnote in her fairy tale. I took a deep breath. I sat down and saw her come out with the first dress. The whole room made a synchronized one and I kept quiet. I swear. I kept quiet. But after the third dress, Julieta turned to me and let out with a fake smile. What do you think? Vale, too much cleavage for a mom to be. She said it like a joke, but they all laughed in a weird way. As if they already knew the script. As if they'd set a trap for me. It's pretty, I said. But maybe in a looser one you'll feel more comfortable. And there she cut me off sharply. Comfortable like you in that black dress you wore on Christmas. You looked like a sweet bread roll. Remember? They laughed. Even her mom. They laughed, and something broke inside me. You invited me for this. I told her to humiliate me. Oh, don't start, Valeria. It isn't my fault you don't know how to take anything with humor. I stood up. I went toward the door. But before leaving, I turned around. Good luck with your wedding, Julieta. I hope it lasts longer than your sense of respect. And just when I was about to leave, she followed me. She grabbed my arm. Not forcefully, but she did. You aren't going to play the victim again, she yelled. I pulled away. I turned around, and in the struggle she tripped. She fell on her side. Nothing serious. But she put her hand on her belly, yelling as if she'd been stabbed. The store froze. Her mom screamed. The friend called emergencies, and I stayed paralyzed. Julieta was crying. She said she felt pain, that something wasn't right. She looked at me and yelled, "Do you see what you did? Do you see what you caused?" The ambulance came. They took her to the hospital. The baby was fine, but the damage was already done. Lucas didn't answer me anymore. Her mom blocked me, and my mom asked me to take some time away from everything. I didn't push her. But everyone decided I did. And in that moment, something inside me changed. If they were going to treat me like a threat, then I was going to become one. Because if Julieta believed I didn't know how to defend myself, it was time to teach her. In her style, in silence. With poison and without witnesses. There are always witnesses when the crazy one reacts, but when they push you in silence, nobody sees anything. And that's what I understood that day in the store. It didn't matter if it had been an accident. It didn't matter if I'd just pulled away. Julieta's narrative was already written before I crossed that door. I was the jealous sister, the one who couldn't get over her brother having a new family, the one who invented conspiracies, the unhinged one. So I decided to write my own version. But not with words, with facts, with proof. First, the WhatsApp group. I infiltrated from Clara's phone, Lucas's cousin, who lent it to me to charge the battery at a family gathering. I didn't need much. Just to forward some screenshots. There I saw what I already suspected. Julieta controlled everything. The wedding menu, the flowers, the guest list, even the DJ. And the saddest part, Lucas's answers were pure emoji reactions. Then, the vendors. I found out who the event hall was. I called pretending to be the excited sister-in-law. I said there was a mistake with the reservation, that the date had to be moved 1 week. They accepted without drama. Consequence, Julieta lost the deposit. Blamed the wedding planner, and Lucas started getting very stressed, but my masterstroke was with Grandma. My grandma, who'd raised Lucas like another son. Julieta, on a visit, told her in a low voice that it'd be better if she didn't go to the wedding for her health, and she said it without knowing I was in the kitchen listening to everything. I recorded the audio. Her calm, sweet voice saying, "It's just that older adults sometimes subtract more than they add. Do you understand me?" I didn't show it to Lucas yet. I wanted the perfect moment. Meanwhile, I started leaving little clues, fake accounts, comments on networks, small anonymous leaks. Phrases like, "How weird that someone who claims to love her fiancé so much hides the abortion from 2 years ago from him." Lucas already knows the ex chose the baby's name. And so the chaos began to boil without anyone knowing where it came from. Julieta started having anxiety attacks. Lucas became more paranoid, and the family no longer talked about crazy Valeria. Now they talked about how something wasn't right with Julieta. One night Lucas called me not to reconcile, but to ask me with a tense voice if I knew anything about an anonymous post on a mother's forum where they said Julieta was hiding an altered medical history. I lied to him. I said no, but deep down I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Control. This wasn't revenge. It was balance. Emotional justice, because I didn't want to destroy Julieta. I just wanted Lucas to remember who was there when he wasn't anyone. And if for that I had to become invisible, I'd do it, but not silent. The war had started, and in this war nobody was going to die. But someone was going to end up alone. That was what I was always afraid of being. And paradoxically, that was what they pushed me to do. When Lucas called me that night, late, tired, with an opaque voice, I thought it was finally the moment where he'd tell me he understood. That something didn't add up, that he needed me. But no, he just wanted me to help him organize a family dinner to clear up some issues. I want you, Julieta, and Grandma to be there. And you, I just want peace. That word again. Peace. As if I'd started a war. The place was Grandma's house. Wooden table, clean tablecloth. Wine in glasses. Julieta arrived with her belly. Her polite smile, and that I didn't do anything aura that always protected her. Lucas helped her sit down. I arrived last. I had the recording in my pocket. Grandma's audio. The moment Julieta tried to erase her from the wedding, I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to wait. But then Julieta spoke. I want this baby to be born in a healthy environment, without drama or toxic interferences. And there my patience died. Interferences like Grandma or like me. Valeria. Please. Lucas tried. No, let her speak, I said. Let her say why she made me look like a crazy woman. Why did she exclude me? Why did she leave me out of the group? Out of the dress, the hall. Everything. Julieta sighed. Because you can't even stand yourself. Because you can't see that Lucas has his own life. Because everything revolves around you and that's over. He chose me and he's going to choose this family, the real one. And then I played the audio, her voice. Her phrase. Older adults subtract more than they add. The silence was total. Grandma looked down. Lucas was left speechless. And Julieta. That's taken out of context. You manipulated that. Are you sick? I'm not sick. I'm sick of it. Sick of everyone believing your story. Sick of Lucas no longer being able to speak without you authorizing it. Sick of you wanting to erase everyone who was there before you arrived with your Pinterest quotes and your surprise pregnancies. Lucas raised his voice. Valeria. Enough. I turned to him. My hands were shaking. Really? Don't you see what she's doing? Do you really think I'm the one ruining everything? I don't know what to think anymore. He muttered. And he left. He went into another room. Grandma got up and left too. Only Julieta and I remained. And that was when she approached and whispered to me without a smile. You play very well, Vale. But you played alone and you lost. Are you sure? Because you forgot that this baby isn't only yours. She turned pale. What did you say? I said I also know things. Like who decided the name without consulting him? Like that message you sent your ex when you found out about the pregnancy. That's a lie. Yes. Do you want me to read it to you out loud? Julieta left furious, and I stayed there sitting empty, but with a piece that didn't belong to me. The fake piece of a battle won before the disaster. Because that night Lucas wrote me a message, just one phrase. I need to know something. Did you push her? And for the first time in weeks, I answered him the truth or my version of the truth. Yes, I pushed her. I don't know if it was literal, symbolic, emotional, or all together, but yes, I pushed her. I pushed her from the first day she arrived in our life as if she were a blessing fallen from the sky. I pushed her in Lucas's mind, sowing doubts. I pushed her out of the circle of trust that she herself took from me. And maybe, I also did it with my body that afternoon in the store when she grabbed my arm, when my pride was more pregnant with rage than she was with her daughter. Lucas met me in a park. It wasn't a reconciliation, it was a trial without lawyers, without witnesses. Just the judge that mattered most to me. He had a swollen face from not sleeping. He looked at me as if he already knew what I was going to say. Tell me the truth. All of it. Not the makeup version. What do you want me to say? That I wanted to kill her? No. But I didn't take care of her either. I lost control. I got tired of them making me look like the monster. And if that makes me guilty, then I am. He looked down. And why did you do it all? The fake accounts, the vendors, the leaks. Why? Because you didn't defend me. Why did you erase me? Because she changed you. Because I was your sister, Lucas. I was there when Dad left, when Mom broke. And now I'm a footnote. It isn't that. Yes, it is. And you know it. And even if you don't dare to say it, you also know Julieta isn't the saint she appears to be. It's just convenient for you to believe it because it's too late to go back. There was a silence that weighed like a cemetery. Do you know the worst part of all? He told me, what part of me understands your pain? But that doesn't justify that you almost made her lose the baby. She reported you, Valeria. There's a restraining order. You can't come close anymore. I didn't cry, I didn't apologize, I just nodded. Sometimes a person reaches a point where there's nothing left to defend. Not pride, not shared history, not love. Days later, I received a judicial notice, a fine, community service, psychological evaluation, nothing serious technically. But symbolically, it was an exile sentence. My mom called me. She told me it was better not to go to the house for a while. My grandma didn't answer my messages. Lucas disappeared. A month later, I got a photo on WhatsApp. It was the baby. Her red, wrinkled, perfect face. She had a white beanie and a flower blanket. And below a phrase, her name's Amelia. For her great-grandmother. She was born well, she's healthy. There wasn't a signature, there wasn't a hello or thanks, or do you want to meet her? Just that image and the confirmation that I was no longer part of anything. So yes, Lucas, I swear I wanted to protect her, that I just wanted to open your eyes, that I did everything wrong for reasons I thought were good. But if that cost you your peace and almost cost her her daughter, then maybe I am the monster you needed to love each other stronger. And even if you hate me, at least you have each other. I only have myself. That was what I was left with after the trial, the punishment, everyone's silence. After the photo they sent me without a sender. As if I were just another spectator of a story I once starred in. The fine didn't hurt me. The community service didn't either. It was at a foundation for teen moms. And I'm not going to lie, at first it seemed like a cruel irony. But then I understood the universe has very twisted ways of teaching you things you didn't want to learn. I cleaned diapers, folded clothes, listened to crying, and in that white noise of other people's motherhood, something faded inside me. The hate, the rage. The need to be right. I never saw Lucas again. Not a call, not a visit. I guess he needed his peace. That word that separated us more than any argument. My mom sometimes writes me neutral phrases. My grandma, instead, sent me a letter. It only said, "Sometimes losing a war doesn't make you the villain, it makes you someone free." I don't know if it's true, but I tattooed it anyway on my arm, where I used to wear bracelets to cover my anxiety marks. Today I saw Amelia for the first time. It was at a book fair. Lucas and Julieta were there. She had the baby in her arms with a pink headband. Lucas was browsing children's books. I was at the shelf next to them, behind a display. I wasn't even breathing, I just looked at her. And then something happened I still don't understand. Amelia looked at me as if she knew, as if something in her blood pushed her to look for me among the faces of the world. It lasted 2 seconds. Julieta turned around, saw the direction of her gaze, and moved her away. Not a gesture, not a word, just the subtle drag of someone who doesn't forget. I didn't cry, I didn't make a scene, I just walked to the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and promised myself something. When you grow up, Amelia, when you ask who was that woman who looked at you as if you'd been born from her too, I'll be there, not to steal anything from you or to take revenge, just to tell you the truth nobody wanted to tell. Because I'm the exiled one, the crossed-out note on a family tree. The one everyone denied to save their happy ending. But the exiled ones also know how to wait. And you, will you want to know about me someday? Comment 1. Valeria read The Art of War and understood it as a manual on how to destroy your own life in 6 acts. Bravo. Generalissimo. Comment 2. How are you going to say, "and yes, I pushed her"? As if that were a valid answer. Queen. That isn't a confession. It's the trailer for your Discovery ID documentary. Comment 3. Come on, Valeria. Confess that all this started because they didn't let you choose the color of the wedding napkins. Does that hurt more than the exile? Comment 4. How do you go from "I want my brother back" to "I infiltrated their group and ruined the wedding"? Sister. This is Red Flags the series. Comment 5. I wish Valeria many years of therapy with a psychologist who is Julieta's face. Let's see if that cures her or she explodes again. Comment 6. The baby already knew who you were and still turned her head. Even with 3 months of life, they're ghosting you. Darling. Comment 7. Valeria doesn't need enemies, she's enough by herself. She literally starred in, directed, and financed her own family cancellation. Comment 8. The exiled sister. You aren't Elsa from Frozen. You're the dark version of the intense sister-in-law we all block on Facebook. Comment 9. I hope your community service includes handing out invitations for the weddings you ruined and each one says, I'm not welcome, but I came anyway. Comment 10. Honestly, you need to go to therapy immediately.